Hi guys, thank you so much for joining us for Webinar Wednesday. We have Matt from Stillwater with us today to give us some good information. I will mention there is a comments box available there. If you guys have questions as we go, just feel free to drop those in the chat box there and we will answer those at the very end. But I'm going to turn it over to Matt to introduce himself and kick things off.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the introduction, and thank you for everyone that's attending today's webinar. Excited for the partnership with Invo here, and looking forward to sharing a little more about Stillwater today. So, as everyone can see on our screen, so Stillwater Insurance, we formally started in 2000, but we were originally started as Fidelity National. Eventually, we were rebranded in 2012 as Stillwater Insurance. We are a preferred carrier. We are located in all 50 states. However, we do have limited products in some states, or currently we're not appointing in some states as well. So just to kick this off right away, I'm going to let you know that states we're not currently looking at writing or appointing in would be Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, um, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, and Arkansas. So just wanted to share that other states we will consider. There can be some limitations just currently right now with the market being very fluid, but if you have any interest, definitely reach out and we'll let you know if it's something we can entertain or not. So moving forward, what I want to show you is just cover the products that we offer. Our product availability will vary by state, as well as some of our main underwriting guidelines, and give you a little demo on what our dashboard looks like, as well as our quoting portal. So you can see the ease of use. When we rebranded Stillwater Insurance, we've invested a lot of technology, including revamping our quoting systems. And a lot of feedback I get from other agent partners is our system's one of the easiest to navigate and use. So hopefully I can show you that in a few minutes. But what our dashboard looks like when logged in will be this frame right here. And then we have a list of tabs up here, which I'm not going to spend a ton of time on, but we have a know-how tab that there's little helpful videos for agents when if they're unsure on something to do in our system. These videos can help walk them through that. So we got probably 15 to 20 different videos here, and that's our know-how section. Contact just various departments to reach out to. We also have our own live chat, which agents really like. We're very quick to respond with chat, and it gives you the ability to continue doing other tasks while you're waiting for an answer to your question. Different information on claims under here. Notifications, we do different alerts. So if you want email notifications, you can opt in for those. But where I'm going to spend a few minutes here is on the docs and guides and covering our products that we offer. So our flagship product, or the bulk of our premium, is in property or home insurance. Again, this varies by state whether it's available or not, but we offer an HO3, 4, 5, and 6. Our product guides, the nice thing is they're designed similar. So when you open our product guide for home, you have two ways to search it. You can do a Control F word search if you have a specific word you are looking for, or when you get to page 2, which is the table of contents, every word here is clickable down to that section of the product guide. So it's very easy to navigate our portal here and find out more of what you're looking for regarding our products. So as I mentioned, we offer both an HO3, HO5. Now, what we're specifically, it's a preferred product. We're writing homes 50 years or newer for age of construction. And then in most states, we'll go up to 1.75 million in coverage A. There are some states out west like Washington, Oregon, Arizona, Utah, Nevada, California, New Mexico. We will consider this up to 2.5 million. And then we will write things PC class 1 through 9, so we won't write anything in PC 10. We also have a lot of brush areas, so we're very tight with our brush guidelines. Much like any other preferred carrier, if it's in the brushy area, it's probably going to be outside of our appetite. So H3, H5, again, roofs, asphalt shingle roofs, 20 years or newer at the time of new business. We don't have an age restriction if it has clay tile roofs. And then outside of that, for animals, depending on the state, we may have some restrictions for animals. We don't write anything that's in the farming exposure, no home daycare. So again, clean preferred risks, anything with unusual construction material is going to fall outside of our appetite. Also, no farming. Pools are okay with us, provided they're fenced in or enclosed and no diving board. The same thing with trampolines are okay with us, provided they're fenced in and there's a safety net around the trampoline. So that's just a large, high-level view of our H3, H5. We also do offer a condo product, HO6. We offer both a owner as well as tenant-occupied HO6. And if it is tenant-occupied, we'll also write it in the name of a LLC or corporation. And then last thing is our renters, our HO4. We love renters. We know eventually they're going to buy homes, condos. So our renters rates are very competitive. So definitely for opportunities for renters, we look for those any chance we get. So in a few minutes later, I will pull up a home quote just to show you what the quoting portal looks like. But from a broad overview, that's just a quick breakdown on our home product. But if you are in our product guide, say you had some questions around loss history, you see, or anything here, but you see loss history, you click this, it'll take you right down to that section of the product guide. And that's where you can learn more information around like our guidelines, a little more deeper detail. And then once you hit this back to table, it would take you right back to that page 2 of our table of contents. We also do offer a dwelling fire product. We do a DP1, 2, or 3. It is available standalone like all of our products, and it's for tenant occupied risks only. We will consider risks up to $750,000 in coverage A. And then if it is, we will allow it to be written in the name of a corporation like an LLC. So same guidelines for age of construction, 50 years or newer, and a lot of our other underwriting guidelines are also going to be very similar. Our next personal lines product that we offer is our auto. Our auto, again, it's a preferred auto product. We're in about 24 states with our auto, so we don't offer auto in all states throughout the country. So availability does depend on the state. Again, our preferred auto, where you're going to find success with us, is clients coming in with high prior BI limits and tenure. So really, 100, 300 or higher, been with their prior carrier at least 2+ years. And then insurance score is going to be a big factor in most states, depending on the state, as well as minimal driving activity. So kind of give you an idea, our driving activity is acceptable. If we're in our product guide, we hit accident violations eligibility. It brings us down here. Now this does depend on some states. So if you're in Arizona, California, Connecticut, Minnesota, these do differ, but just to kind of give you an idea what activity is acceptable here. So it'll depend on amount of drivers and vehicles in the household. And like I mentioned, in a few moments, I'll go over a little deeper into an auto quote here. I'll pull up to show you what that quoting portal looks like. And then our last personalized product that we offer is going to be our umbrella. The big factor with our umbrella, or the key ingredient to our umbrella, is it's available standalone, which not a lot of carriers offer a standalone umbrella. We do. It is a straight liability umbrella, but you can go from 1 million all the way up to 5 million. If the underlying carrier is not Stillwater, we just require that they're rated B+ or higher, AM Best rating. And then for liability limits for auto, we require 250, 500 liability limits. Unless there's a youthful driver under 25, then we require 500, 500 limits. And for home, we require 300,000 or higher for liability limits. Our umbrella is great. It will extend to, someone with home, auto. We'll do up to 3 rental properties, provided they're long-term rentals, so we don't allow any type of short-term Airbnb type exposures. We can extend to motorcycles, boats. The only thing it won't extend to is if someone had a lot of toys, it will not extend to off-road vehicles like ATVs, snowmobiles, jet skis. Those would be ineligible with us. And then moving on to our newest product, which we have available in over 46 states. We did venture in the commercial realm, and we opened up a BOP product starting in 2016. And then a few years ago, we finished launching in our final state. Our bot product is geared towards Main Street America type risk. So like your offices of professionals, retailers, services. But our claim to fame is 80% of the time you can quote an issue in under 6 minutes without any underwriting intervention. So we've made the quoting system very easy. It's very much like quoting an auto or home with us, just straightforward. We only ask for information that we find relevant to giving an accurate quote, and we give the best rate up front. So again, there's no asking for credits or going back and forth. Either it's going to be acceptable or not. Here's your rate, and a few cases where it might need to be reviewed by underwriting first for a final acceptance. Um, but specifically what we're looking for, we can write some types of churches providing no building coverage. Most type of your business classes, so your finance, insurance, real estate are going to be acceptable. Healthcare industry, as long as there's no mental illness or nursing homes, we'll write. Depending on the state, we'll do lesser risks for commercial buildings only, so no residential or habitational involved. Nothing in the manufacturing realm. We'll do restaurants provide no building coverage and alcohol under 25%. Retail is a good opportunity for us, just nothing too risky. So no jewelry, secondhand, supermarkets, that type of stuff would be outside of our appetite. Most services and wellness type stuff will fit in our appetite as well. We'll do new businesses as well as home-based businesses, provided there's no foot traffic. And then things we don't write, really anything 24-hour, could really we say anything too risky, could blow up. That type of stuff is going to be, outside of our appetite. So no 24-hour. We don't do anything geared towards automotive. That's everything from car washes up to car dealerships. If it involves vehicles, it's outside of our appetite. No bars, entertainment clubs, just to kind of give you an idea of our appetite. So uh, our BOP is very easy to use. I'll show you a little bit what agents have success with here. This would be data. Unfortunately, I don't have our 2024 yet, but this is from 2023. These are our most popular BOPs written nationwide with our average premium as well as sales ratio, just to give you an idea. So a lot of these business classes are going to fit, medical and health and wellness, chiropractors, just basic medical offices, that type of stuff is going to be very, very competitive with us. The other thing we offer in a lot of states is we have what's called miscellaneous professional liability coverage, where we're partnered with Hartford Steam Boiler on. And so there's over 80 different classes that we can offer professional coverage in conjunction with our BOP product. So that's a new feature. And then with all of our commercial, we're also partnered with Hartford. We offer cyber suite, employment practice liability, equipment breakdown, and identity recovery. You'll see these as optional endorsements on all BOPs. So that's a real quick overview of our BOP product as well. Next, what I'm going to show you here is we go to the dashboard. This is where all the quoting activity would occur as well as active policies. If appointed with us, you log in. This is where your quotes would display. We leave quotes on 45 days before they purge. If you ever need anything more than that after 30 days, just open it back up and it reset that time clock. We have a search bar here, so once you start to have a lot of quote activity, you can search by name, quote number, policy number. There's an advanced search here where you can search if you just want to see your active policies. So a lot of function here. If you want to start a new quote in our system, you start up here and then you type in the zip code, and then it will list the available products based on that zip code. I already started some quotes just to show you, so I'm going to pull them up here. So I'll show you what our audit quote portal looks like, and this was just had a fresh facelift about 2 months ago. A lot of states had just rolled out within the last month, but initially, if we had entered that zip code and launched, it would take us into this very first screen. And this is where you pick your effective date, you enter your name, insurance information, address, vehicles insured, and then prior carrier information, which is very important because these are rating factors with us. As I mentioned earlier, higher prior limits is where we're going to be more competitive. But you just enter that data. It moves forward then into the driver tab. So you can, if you enter a driver, you just need to know, we do for the primary named insured, need to know the occupation and education levels, which are rating factors. So you enter that. If they have any manual incidents, you could enter that information here, or later on we would run reporting. But that's how you would add your drivers, which then takes you to the vehicle page. And this is where you'd enter your vehicles that you're looking to insure. Should be pretty straightforward. We don't do any type of ride share, so if they do any type of Uber, Lyft, that's going to be outside of our appetite. And we don't insure salvage or branded titled vehicles either. Any vehicles over 100,000 MSRP would be also outside of our appetite. But once you plug the VIN in, if it's acceptable, I'll let you proceed. And once you enter that and hit next, then we go into the coverage screen. And then this is where you can select your coverages for each vehicle. Highest we go with liability is 250, 500, 100 on the auto. And then here would be your individual vehicle coverages. So if you had more than one vehicle, this is where you can select their comp, collision, glass, rental, and roadside assistance. And then right below there would fall in the different discounts that we offer. If you want to see it without, or if you make any changes here, you just take that off, and on the right side, you'd hit save and recalculate, and that would update that rate for you. And then apply the discount back on, you just recalculate it. And then up, as I said, on this side, you'll see your rate. This is where you can view or print the proposal. And then if we were going to run reporting, we'd hit next. It would take you to this additional info, which is where you enter the driver's license numbers, phone number, email for the contact. And once you enter that and hit next, that is when we run the reporting and give you that final rate. But due to time, I just want to show you a quick recap of how straightforward it is to quote auto with Stillwater. So I'm going to hit save and exit now and then hop into the home quote. So now under home, and what I did after I ran the auto starting up here, there's a little add quote feature. So when I ran the home from that, it pulled in all the personal information so I didn't have to relist it. So I jump back into the home now. I'm just going to go back to the start here. So much like auto here, as you enter this information, we're under basic home info. So as we move forward, these will get blue, so it lets you know where you are in the process. So policy type, I'm just scheduling the property year, single family, full-time residence, plugging in the address. Again, if it's PC10 or something in brush, the system will stop you right away. We're very competitive with newer construction risks, especially homes under 10 years old. So we definitely have an opportunity if you're in an area with a lot of newer construction. Named insured, plugging my information in here. Once we hit next, normally it will the first time pull up. We use 360 for the replacement cost. So we'll pull in that information from the 360 vendor. So we would look through that, verify that's all correct, or if anything wasn't, we could adjust it. And we hit recalculate and then take finish, and that will take us back into our quoting portal from the 360 value. And then once here, we just picked our effective date, verify the roof age, and then hit next, which will take us into this last tab here on the first page, which is optional discounts. So we'll just fill out which discounts we're applying here. Nice thing too in a lot of our states is if we have auto, we do give a larger Stillwater package discount, but maybe it's a state where, let's say, we don't offer an auto, or they weren't eligible with us, or you weren't planning on writing the auto with us. But if you control it in your agency, we still offer a smaller companion policy discount since you control in your agency. So I like to call that out because it's a nice little feature there that we offer. But once you review the discounts, hit next. That then moves into the coverage screen. So it lists out some different deductible options. Again, depending on the state, that can vary what deductibles we offer. A lot of states too, we do have a wind hail deductible requirement, anything from 5,000 to 1 or 2%, just depending on the location. But once we get here to the coverages, you can go through and review all your coverage amounts. We're also partnered with Hartford Steam Boiler to offer home cyber, home systems, identity, and service line coverage. And if you want to add any of these coverages, you just select the line and then at the top hit re-rate. And that's how you would update the quote. And then if we scroll down here, we hit this little plus sign, and there's even additional endorsements that you can add. And if we need to schedule any personal property, this is where you can add that. And then it'll list all your discounts down here that we have applied on the quote. A couple of cool things with our system here is if it's an HO3 and we offer an HO5 in the state, we give a little orange button, and all you just click that if you want to see an HO5 quote. And you can switch it back if you want to go back to an HO3. So we make it very easy to toggle between both product options. Right below there's where you can print the quote. And then we also built in a bunch of imagery. So if you weren't familiar with the property, there's some Google Earth here. So you can take a look at the aerial view from Google, or you can take this person, drop it in front to get the street level view if you want to take a look at the property. Sometimes we may have some additional imagery from third parties that will show up here. So it looks like there's one from December of 2024. So we can click on that to take a look at this property as well. We see it's December, so there's a little snow there. But that imagery is just to help to make sure, because again, we're a preferred carrier, clean preferred risks. But really at this point, once you get this far, this is our rates set. Once we hit next, that would take us to the underwriting questions, which is when the clue report generates. And then you'd run through underwriting questions. The remainder of quote would be to add the additional mortgagee, or if there's a mortgagee on the policy, second named insured back here, and this is where you set up the billing plan, and then the policy would issue. So very straightforward with both our auto and home products. We ask for information as you provided. Nice thing with our system too, if it's something was ever not eligible, it stops you right away at that moment. It doesn't take you to the end and then says, oh, so sorry, the risk isn't eligible. We'll let you know right away, whether it's when you're entering the address or entering the VIN number, or we get to where we run the clue report. If something's stopping it because it's outside of our appetite, the system does a good job of identifying it right away. So last thing I want to show you here is a quick umbrella quote. Again, our umbrella is standalone, but it's also very competitive. Very easy to get a quote within 30 seconds. I didn't run this one ahead of time because it's pretty easy to do. So I'm just going to hit 8, 4. All you do is hit this add quote. And then policy type drop down menu. I'm going to do umbrella, start quote. This portal is a little older, so it might look slightly different than our auto and home platform, but still pretty straightforward. So it's pulling in the information I indicated here. And then there's just a couple screens of listing things that we would be scheduling. So I'm just going to say for the simplicity, a home and 2 cars. And just verifying these 4 screens. And then there's our quote. So like I said, less than a minute, you can have an umbrella quote. Moving forward, the rate doesn't change. It's just, underwriting would be if it remains eligible, but this rate would be set for you to offer. So I'm going to hit save and exit, and that takes us back to the dashboard. Again, then once you run quotes here, they display down here. If you want to get back into a quote, you hit select. Update would be you can go in the quote, make changes. View means you could look at the quote, you just couldn't make any changes to the quote. Notes is where underwriting or notes would be stored tied to the quote or the policy. And then insight is a feature we have for servicing, really for active policies. So I don't know if there's any questions so far, or but that was everything I was going to run through today on today's meeting.
Matt, it does look like we have a question here from Angelica. She asked, we just got our agency within Invo Underwriting. Can you tell me how I would go about getting our login information? Angela, I can assist with this one. So I'm actually going to take back control of the screen here real quick, Matt, just so I can show them where to go. Okay, so you will request access through our agent portal. So from our website, we're going to the agent portal and we're going to log in. And we actually have Stillwater listed in 2 different places. We have them on the commercial section up here at the top. So you can either click here on this login registration link, or it is also available at the bottom within the personal line section here. You'll only need to do that one time though in order to request them.
Perfect. And then what happens there, just so they know, is that request gets sent over to me. We'll take a look at it if it's, because it asks information where your locate agency's at, some details about the agency. I get that request. If it's indeed an area we're open to appointing or considering, a member of my team will reach out to you to go over our appointment process, which consists of initial phone call, learning more about your agency. And then what we then do is we set you up, if there's opportunity to move forward, we set you up with what we call is a training ID, which gives you access to our system, much like you saw today. That person then will run a quote with you and do kind of a one-on-one demo to get you a little more familiar with the quote, a little deeper dive than what I did today. And then they give you an opportunity to run some quotes on your own, play around in the system, look through the docs and guides in more detail, and then they would circle back with you. And if everything looks good, where there's opportunities for a partnership or moving forward, then we would move forward setting you up with appointment under Invo.
Awesome. And Matt, it actually looks like we have a couple of more questions. These both appear to be from Richard. First,
Okay.
he asked, do you cover Florida for home and auto?
No, we are not appointing in Florida at this time, but thank
And
you for
his next
checking.
and his next question, I believe, do you insure with no prior insurance?
We do not. We are a preferred carrier. So again, think clean preferred risk on the auto side. They need to have prior insurance, at least 3 years of driving experience. And the same thing with homes. They can't have any types of lapse in coverage. Uh,
Awesome. And I think those are the only questions that we have. Oh, just kidding. We have another one from Renee. Are you appointing in California?
we are considering appointments in California. It will depend on your area, where you're located in California. There are a lot of closed areas for brush. Also just some other closed areas due to results. So if interested, send it over. If it's in the area, unfortunately, we can't consider. I will email you back letting you know. But if it is an open area, a member of my team will reach out.
And it looks like Linda followed up with the specific territory in California. Is Southern California considered?
Parts of Southern California, we need more specific than that. So, um, so it depends where in Southern California. So I would just, again, you said Linda, if you just want to register or shoot me an email on it, I can let you know.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Matt, so much. I think that is all of the questions. If you guys think of anything else, just feel free to reach out to me directly or Matt as well if you have some additional questions about Stillwater. This webinar will also be posted to our YouTube channel. So if you weren't able to view the whole recording, or if you want to go back to look, it will be available there as well. But again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us today. Matt, we appreciate you getting on here as well. Everything's been great. And I hope you guys all have a happy 4th.
Thank you. Thanks for everyone joining.
Take care.